Hello, everyone, and good evening, and welcome to the Apex Racing League British GT Championship here on Apex Racing TV. You join us at Oulton Park. My name is Ryan Walker, and alongside me is Marco Barbonera. And Marco, I have to say, Oulton Park, such a terrific track, but also a tight track as well. And we were just saying as well that tonight could produce some mayhem around here with the GT3 class and the Porsche Cup class around here.
Exactly. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ryan. Pleasure to be, and it's already the midway point of the championship. Round 3 out of 6. We had two very, very interesting rounds into very, very different circuits. Of course, Silverstone and Brands Hatch, and this is, similar to Brands Hatch, tight, twisty elevation changes, narrow, and it's going to be a crazy, crazy event. Of course, as per usual, two races, 20 and 40 minutes long, no pit stop required in both of them, and with reverse grids tonight. So you are right, it's going to be tricky for the drivers. It's a bit of a longer lap than Branzacci, if I'm not mistaken, so maybe the lap traffic won't be as much as an issue as in the previous round, but still you are going to run into lap traffic, and cars that maybe have to go to the pits, take a repair, and go back out. So yeah, not an easy race, and we have pretty good conditions at the beginning of the qualifying session with 33 degrees track temperature Celsius, of course. Clear, boatload of humidity, 75%, seems like we are in Italy, and moderately low wind. So I would say, apart from the massive humidity, very nice conditions for a race as qualifying is starting right now.
Yep, absolutely. As Barker says, qualifying is just underway here at Oulton Park. Also the layout at Oulton Park we'll be using is the international layout, which I believe Marco is used in the real life British GT Championship. And in real life, it's actually produced some great racing, but also some absolutely chaotic racing as well. But overall, great racing, and I think we should be in for more of the same here this evening.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, this is the traditional Easter Monday or Easter weekend round. Usually, I think the opener for British GT, if I'm not mistaken, and usually, as in tradition, both I think in Italy and in the UK, Easter Monday equals terrible weather. And I remember, I think the 2016 round of British GT around here with the track was basically flooded. There were some massive hits left and right, especially in this part of the racetrack where Rob Tyson is right now. No rain in iRacing so far, so so at least we have that out of the way. As the 10-minute qualifying session is underway, maximum of 4 laps, solo qualifying. So if you see cars disappear when we switch, it's because the drivers, thankfully, I might add, thanks to the idea of Sam Fitzpatrick, who is not with us tonight. So, of course, he has left us with the honor of commentating and running the series tonight. Well, thankfully, we have solo qualifying, so drivers will have these 4 laps running unimpeded, but off tracks, I think, will be a big issue in this qualifying session. Classic British racetrack, a lot of grass and no tarmac runoff areas.
Yep, absolutely. There was a few drivers complaining. Uh, a few drivers complaining. Sorry, in the run up to this round, they said that the track limits will probably be very harsh. We could see some off tracks tonight in qualifying, and maybe people getting their lap invalidated due to running a wee bit wide. As we look at Nick Madsen at the moment, just in the middle of a lap in the Porsche Cup Porsche Cup class, and as you can probably see at the bottom I mean at the top of the screen, yellow is for the GT3 class and blue is for the 911 Cup class. So just in case anyone was wondering was wondering what the call was meant, and as we look at I believe that's Gregory Varanks we're looking at the moment, just coming round to complete a lap. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of lap time he can do.
Yes, and speaking of Gregory, Sim Racers World Esports racing team, and by the way, as soon as the cars come onto the start finish line, the graphics on top will update with the pole lap for each of the classes. Speaking of Sim Racers World, don't miss on Wednesday on the iRacing Esports Network for the first time in series history. We will have that series here on Apex Racing TV. That will be their media day, and I'm very, very excited both for us, of course, but for them, because that has been a very, very fast-growing championship, and nice to see some of their drivers run here as also a warm-up. And the one who has been warming up the most, I would say, is the new Ferrari driver, Martin van Loosenhoorn. Yes, you heard it right. He started with the Audi. Round 2, not very lucky, I have to say, with the McLaren in Brands Hatch, and now switching to the Ferrari. Of course, you get quite a bit of penalty points each time you switch the car, and Van Loosenhoorn is still trying to decide which car to run in said Sim Racing World Championship. Now it seems like he's settled for the Ferrari. We'll see. He's second quickest, but quickest of them all in his class by 0.2 of a second is Luis Bibi, the driver you can see here, championship leader. And Andrew Brown now jumps into second place, and you can see the top two are Mercedes, then Ferrari, then another Mercedes here with Drexler fifth place. Oh, Tom McMahon out of nowhere, he comes home with the pole position, provisional pole.
Fantastic lap from Tom, sticking it on, and yeah, just ahead of his teammate Lewis Bibby as well. So yeah, an Evo SR12 at the moment, Marco, and yeah, I have to say, Tom McMahon had a great race and race to it last time out at Brands Hatch, and yeah, managed to put in a terrific drive to take the win.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it was a very chaotic round. Of course, race 1, I remember Martin van Loosenhoorn having contact with an opponent and ending up in the barrier. So race 2 also was not the best he could have hoped for. So he's certainly looking for revenge and to redeem his performance. Here he comes on the start finish line, 5th place for him, and that was an invalid lap, sadly. So once again, yes, 10 minutes, but only 4 laps. So you have, you have to really take your chances if you want to get a good starting position. Steve Clays, 137.7. I have to, of course, temporarily remove the qualifying graphics to show the most professional picture in the history of Apex Racing TV. I mean, look at that. It also has a flavor, Ryan, of a driver from the 70s, don't you think? Like, we could have raced with Lauda and Ant with a picture like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, just looking at the pose of Steve, it looks like a 1970s racing driver that you would see, get in a magazine with that, just as you say, Marco, 1970s pose, and yeah, it's kind of cool. And also looking at Steve's paint job as well. Probably looking at the Porsche Cup class, it's probably one of my favourite paint jobs at the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a very, very nice paint. Also, we have Ronald Moons without a time. Here he is. Coming through the start-finish line. Also, Martin van Loosenhoorn is coming through. Will he improve on his time from 5th place up into 2nd? At the same time, Moons slots into 8th place. Here comes Andrew Brown in his Mercedes for Grip TV. Coming down the hill.
As he comes up to the line, I wonder what sort of lap time it will be. It'll be, yeah, a 130.7.
Yeah, 0.6 of a second away from pole, so that is not enough. Also coming through is Ben Gregory for Fitztime Motorsports. I wonder if the Fitztime drivers will be more aggressive with each other now that tonight their team boss is not watching. No, but they will behave, of course. And here we go. Yeah, is P7 thanks to this time. So apparently, look at the gap between Madsen and Cronin. I mean, and also Edwards. I mean, top 3 under 1/10 of a second. The excitement of the Porsche Cup. Too bad that these cars are so evenly matched, and these drivers as well, that sometimes it makes for a, you know, more professional race in the sense that it's very difficult to make an overtake, you know, and but still so close. And now here comes Taj Edwards trying to improve on his time. Same for Nick Madsen, but Edwards will come first. Of course, you have to look at the time on the top. Edwards, pole position. Here comes Madsen. And he's in pole position as well. Wow.
Yeah, nice lap from Nick Madsen.
Here comes Austin Hervias as well. Not a good lap. He aborts. And, you know, to talk about how competitive this field is, Sam Kumo, one of the quickest drivers in iRacing and in the Porsche Cup car, has been lagging behind all season, basically, you know, to show how competitive this Porsche Cup field is. Who also do we have here? Kip Stevens with his Spectre livery, all black. Very striking design. Matias Roger Rios from the beautiful country of Puerto Rico is also still without a lap time, and here he comes and jumps up to P14. Russell Davies with this, I mean, look at this cool McLaren. As the timer runs out, and Ryan, we can go through the starting grid, starting with the GT3 class.
Absolutely, as the grid's up on your screen right now. So taking pole position in the GT3 class is Tom McMahon. Martin Van Loozenhoorn takes second place. Third place is Lewis Bibby. Fourth place is Michael Dressler. Fifth place is Andrew Brown. Sixth place is Jack Noah for V Racer. Seventh place is Ben Gregory. Eighth place is Ollie Unenberg. Ninth place is Chris Wood. 10th place is Martin Tailgard. 11th place is Jesper Lund. 12th place is Gregory Varanks. 13th Kurt Stevens. 14th Roger Rios Matthias. 15th is Pimbo. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologise if I screwed that up. 16th is Alexander Arneson. 17th place is John Roberts. 18th place is Rob Tyson. 19th place is Ralph Cullinan. 20th is Stuart Musselwhite. 21st is Stuart Sudlow. 22nd Jonathan Stegers. 23rd is James Leggett. 24th is Robert Lundgren. 25th is Scott Malcolm. 26th Russell Davis. 27th is Ben Gelly. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And rounding out the GT3 grid is Benjamin Mears.
And here we go with the Porsche 911. Then Nick Madsen, your pole sitter, barely in front of Taj Edwards. Then Brendan Crodin, Austin Hervias, Harald Stedler, Steve Claes, Anders Christiansen, Thor Berven, and rounding up the field, Ronald Moons, and for ERT, Sam Kumo. And I think it's time to go racing. It's going to be 20 minutes of pure excitement, Ryan. And look at that field of cars. You can tell I set up the session because we have a very American pace car. That's the oval racer in me.
I was about to say, I wonder who put the Mustang on the grid as a safety car. But yeah, as we get underway with the formation lap, as Tom McMahon leads them away alongside is Martin Van Loozenhoorn. And yeah, I think Marco, we could be in for a chaotic opening stages of this first race of the evening. And I think Mr. Van Loozenhoorn might be a little bit racy and wants to try and gain some track position straight away.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's a very short run. Of course, the Porsches, as per instructions of the series organizers, taking a bit of distance already. When you have such a short pace lap, it's tougher to get the distance you want, but these drivers are very professional in doing so. They have been very nice at each of the previous two rounds in respecting the distance. Here we go, pace car taking the hard right, and we are racing.
Tom McMahon gets into the close behind him, his teammate Lewis. A good start for both of the Evo SR cars. Is it? Yeah, it looks like the Porsche Cup class cars are underway as well, and Nick Madsen into the lead into turn one. Behind him is
Oh,
Brendan. And
yeah, apologies for that quick cut. No, I need to learn how to click. But yes, nice starts in both of the categories, and no issues apparently. Yeah, we have one for Thor Team Vikings going the wrong direction. That is the shorter track. So back to the lead of the race, McMahon BB, who has been able to jump Van Loosenord, Michael Drexler and Andrew Brown. Of course, it has been a weekend of success for the Dutch, with a victory by Michael van Gerwen in the New Zealand Darts Masters in the final against Raymond van Barneveld. Will van Loosenord etch his name as well in the record books tonight. Well, he will have to contend with a lot of very angry Mercedes drivers in front and behind him, as already one lap about to get into the books. The Evo SR drivers at the front pulling away, or trying to do so, as Drexler and Brown are trying to get close to Van Loosenor, but I think that first it will be Andrew Brown trying to pull a move on Drexler.
as Brown tries to make a move up the inside, and turn one he's up there. Oh, I thought it was going to be contact between Brown and Dressler, but luckily both of them managed to survive on the exit of turn one and survive in one piece. But it looks like Brown looks a little bit racy in the early stage.
Oh, we have a car stuck there. Is Martin Tilgard, one of the BMWs, to take avoiding action. Maybe some contact. This was a big contact there for John Roberts, with big damage on his front right, and I think a bit of steering damage there, as other cars are going past him. Let's try to see, have a replay of what happened there to Tilgard. And you will see in a bit the green BMW of Roberts.
Yeah, I'm just watching the John Roberts just clipped him on the way by. So yeah, there was nothing that Martin could do there. He done the right thing, sitting in the middle of the track and not moving until everyone went by. And unfortunately, John Roberts just came by and clipped him, and just one of those things that's easy to do around Oulton Park. But looking back at the Porsche Cup class, and Nick Madsen is the current leader, with Brendan Cronin in second, and Tadz Edwards rounding out the top three at the moment. And as it has been so far this season, Marco, Nick Madsen's slowly pulling away and building up a gap, and showing why he's probably one of the quickest drivers in this car at the moment.
Absolutely, as we see behind him, I think Taj Edwards blinking just a bit with some connection issues. All fine, it seems, as we have issues for Chris Wood, who has gotten into the pits and gotten his fast repair. Careful with that white line, and he's back there. Steve Clays, we have to think talk and think about him, because he is racing with no force feedback and no buttons on his steering wheel, having a last minute issue. And you know how tough it is to run without steering wheel, without force feedback, especially in a track like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had that issue before with not having any force feedback, and it makes it difficult to race, especially in this Porsche as well. And as we're on board with Steve Clays just behind Sam Kumo as well, battling for P7 at the moment. But it doesn't seem to be holding Steve back at the moment.
Back at the front of the field then, where McMahon, BB and Van Loosenord lead the way, with the two Evo SR guys clearly trying to pull away from their rival, as we have a fight here between the Mercedes of Lind and the BMW of Huneberg. You can use a bit of the runoff area there, but again, it's grass, so the grip you have is certainly less than ideal. Here comes Scott Malcolm on the track, by the way, and I think he had issues at the start of the race, and he's letting everyone by. I think he had either an issue at the start or something else, because he really spent a lot of time in the pits. I'm trying to see if he had issues connecting to the server or if he crashed in the first lap, but I'm not seeing any kind of crash. So maybe he just had connection issues trying to log into the race, which is a bit sad, of course.
Yeah, I'd probably say probably saying being a fellow Scotsman, he was probably too busy in the bar and missed the start. As a, as a yeah, riding on board with Ben Gregory at the and Jack Noller as well, battling for P6 at the moment. And yeah, I have to say, Marco, it's surprising. Like, it seems to have settled down at the moment. I was expecting to be a lot more chaos around this track, but it seems to be everyone's being sensible at the moment and settling down as Ben Gregory tries to make a move up the inside or shows his nose up, shows his heat behind, trying to make Noller go offline. But at the moment, as I say, everyone's settling down.
Yeah, they are keeping. I think they are keeping it easy because they know that race 2 is going to be a big fight with the reverse grid and all of that. Ben Gregory is also yeah, in this picture, of course, behind Noller. Huneberg is in no man's land at the moment, and another Fitztai car, Jasper Lind, is following close in P9 as we have Martin van Luzenoord. He has caught up to Louis Bibi as we have a move here. The airpin on the outside is Gregory. Can he complete the
Gregory on
pass?
the outside.
A fantastic move there from Ben Gregory.
Yeah, that was a fantastic move from Ben. He managed to hold it on the outside and get a great run on the exit of the corner, and he's up into P6. And yeah, I have to say,
Oh! Issues. Thomas
issues in the
Sudlow
background.
and Alexander Arnesen. They're trying to get back into the proper racing position. Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, just have a look at the replay to see what happened. And yeah, it looks like Arneson he might have been contact, possibly. Yeah, it was a bit of contact from one of XM Sport cars.
So
And
he seems
yeah,
to be in the
unfortunately,
pits.
Anderson's in the pits getting repairs. But yeah, looking back at the front towards the front in the GT3 class, it looks like yeah, it looks like Noah was under attack from Noah was under attack from one of the other Fitztime Motorsport cars. As Jesper Lund just behind him, and yeah, I have to say, Marco, the Fitztime Motorsport car, team, they seem to be one of those teams that, yeah, they're not always at the front, but they always seem to get consistent results. And at the moment, it's just been proved by Nick Madsen in the Porsche Cup class, currently leading at the moment. But he's under pressure from Brendan Cronin.
Yeah, Madsen, not a driver without controversy, but when he leaves that behind him, of course, is absolutely one of the quickest drivers in the Porsche Cup car, and he's showing this. And Cronin as well, Taj Edwards as well. They are super quick drivers. I mean, that qualifying really showed how close they were, and like I said, too bad that it's a bit tough to really make a statement with when the level, the playing field is so level, and the cars are of course equal, and you really cannot do much setup wise with this car. You just have to. It's, I think, a bit like the Skip Barber. You suit it to your driving style, but there's no magic formula to make it go faster, basically. So it's really all about the driver, and when the drivers are so good or so similar pace, it's difficult to have that extra bit of speed to make the overtakes. But still, it's a very, very close fight, and you cannot afford to make a mistake, as Jasper Lind gets past Ole Christian Huneberg or Willy, because they are still very close to each other. Ooh, the BMW.
On the inside.
Nice pass.
And Jesper Lund manages to pull the move off up into P8 just behind the next car in front of him is Jack Noller from the V Racer. And looking back up at the front, Martin van Luzenoord is still trying to get by Lewis, who's in second place just in front of him. And just up the road from these guys is Tom McMahon, currently in the lead of this race. So yeah, it's still an Evo SR 1-2 at the moment, Marco.
Yeah, USR are really, really putting a statement today, and I'm sure that Bibi will do his best to keep that second place, because it will be a nice 1-2 punch, great for the team. Of course, not easy to keep Van Loosener at bay, but you know, Bibi is a very good driver. He already showed that in the previous rounds, so I think he can do it. I mean, Van Loosener, of course, is quick with any car, so of course now with the Ferrari he is you know, in a learning status, but you know, he has a very short learning window with cars and can go fast. I mean, he was absolutely amazing even in Branzach when he was racing the Mercedes, so it goes to show how good he is.
Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, I've watched the Martin a few times in various series. I've watched him in the former Renault. I've watched him in I think it was the World Championship Grand Prix series. I think it was, or the Pro Series qualifying in the F1 car. And yeah, I've always been impressed by Martin. He's always one of those drivers that can just jump into any car and he can be on the pace straight away. And I think it's yeah, I think it's just this proves why he's probably, for me anyways, he's rated as one of the best, or if not the best, one of the quickest drivers on iRacing at least.
Kip Stevens, P16, BSR Overlord, and another driver that is not scared to jump into any kind of car. We've seen in Euro Gates, of course, BSRTC with the Kia. By the way, end of an era on Thursday, of course, with the final ever BSRTC race with the Kia. So after all these years, it's time to send the Kia into retirement. It's going to be you know, crazy to think about BSRTC without the Kia, but it's a change for the best, I would imagine. But still, very emotional night that one is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. As I believe BSR is planning to move to when it gets released at some point. The planning the new Audi, I believe, Marco, the new
Yeah,
TCR Audi.
it's coming in 1 week and a half, so that's why the BSRTC season has been shortened by the organizers. And here we go with Van Loosenord finding maybe an opening, but the chicane now is in favor of Bibi as he has the preferred line. So when iRacing dropped the bombshell of the TCR car coming in September a few weeks ago, they decided to shorten the season, and that's why in you know, it's the end of August and BSRTC is already ending. As Uneberg is having a problem.
Yeah, it looks like Unenberg might have run wide on the exit of the game possibly, but we'll look at the replay and see what happened. Might have just looking at the replay on board. Gets the exit. He gets he just bounces over the curb on the exit and just nudges the wall. But he's managed to get going again, and he's still sitting in. Yeah, Unenberg's still sitting in in the top 10. So yeah, it's not too bad. As we look back at the Porsche Cup class battle for the lead, Nick Madson's still under attack from Brendan Cronin, and it looks like Marco, looking at the judging by the gap, but these two guys have managed to pull away from Tad's Edwards and P3.
Yes, they have. Gap is 3.7 seconds, sorry, 4.1 seconds between the first and the third car in the class, of course. You can follow the live timing in the link below, as we have another attempt with Lind and Noller trying to make moves. As you can see on the left side, also the position gained in class by each of the drivers. Good run from the Fitztai car, as they're running side by side, but yeah, this chicane is always helping the driver on the inside, as Matias Roger Rios is into the gravel trap. And he's not the only one. There's another car there, a rev match car. Rob Tyson, yes, so maybe a contact between the two of them. Let's see.
Yeah, just looking at the replay now, and it looks like Rob might have had or replay. Sorry, my bad. It looks like contact between Robert.
Contact with John Roberts. So 2 separate crashes. Let's see what happened to Matthias then. He was just in front of Tyson there, and he lost
he
the
just lost it.
very strange, especially with traction control in these cars. Very strange kind. Even though there are some corners where this car. Oh, and by the way, let's cut to second place because here we go with the overtake for the second place. Van Loosenhoorn is ahead now.
Yep, Van Loosenhoorn on the inside. He picks up second position, and he's got by Lewis Bibby. And it'll be interesting to see if Martin can try and catch the Tom in front of him, but I don't think he will. There's almost to go, and I don't think that's enough time to close down the leader. So yeah, I think second place is going to be the best that Martin Van Loosenhoorn will settle for.
Here comes a replay of the overtake. Then he did it in the final corner, and they were running side by side. But of course, Van Loosenhoorn having the inside was able, and I think that lap traffic played a part into that because they are going through the Porsche field. So they were able to lap the Porsche cars in 16 minutes, more or less, which is a bit earlier than I didn't expect to have lap traffic in race 1, but alas, we had lap traffic, so it's going to be important for these drivers, of course, to negotiate with lap traffic, especially in race 2, because I think now we know that they are going to go through the lap traffic, I think, twice in the second race.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, it took the GT3 cars a lot long. It took the GT3 cars a lot longer to lap the Porsches than I expected. But yeah, on board with Brendan Cronin at the moment, he's still right behind Nick Madsen, battling for the lead. And yeah, it seems to be Madsen's just managing to hold on at the moment and just controlling the pace. But I think if Brendan does Brendan does get a run on Nick. Nick. I was just about to say Mick. My apologies, Nick. But yeah, if he gets a run on Madsen, I don't think Nick will make it easy for him.
See the driver going through the gears. How much they are fighting with the wheel. These Porsche drivers. Of course, this is a very raw car with no electronic aid basically, and. You know, much tougher to drive than the GT3 cars, which are still tough to drive, but of course these are more, like I said, raw. And just think about the pain. I mean, not the pain, because with no force feedback it's easier to drive, I mean, less stressful on your body, but still, think about Steve Clace having to negotiate with no force feedback how tough it is to get a reading on how the car is performing and bouncing in this track without force feedback. Absolutely crazy to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way I could race without force feedback. It would just feel strange. But I have to admit, I didn't really race with force feedback back in the old R Factor 1 days, just because I could never go on with it. But since I've been racing on iRace and I've set the force feedback up to the way I like it, yeah, it just I could never race without force feedback. But yeah, we're still looking at this battle between Madsen and Cronin, and excuse me, I think we just got under
Harold
1 minute, I
Stadler.
think. Oh, Harold Stadler's had an issue.
He was sitting in 5th place. He's still in 5th place in his class, so just a big scare for him. So where is the race leader? Because we have 40 seconds left. I think we should have one more lap after this one. I think he will be able to get to the start-finish line. Hello, look at that. Look how much Van Loosenhoorn has closed in on him, using all of the track limits.
Yeah, I was about to say, Mr. Van Loosenhoorn just closed right up on Bibby, and I think, they're coming on to the last lap, and I think,
white flag,
white flag this time round. So, yeah, it looks like Bibby he's got one more lap to hold on, and there's a Porsche Cup class car in front of him, and can he get round to him before this corner? Yeah, he can get by him, so that'll help Bibby. Van Loosenhoorn try. Oh, Jesus.
That was close. Van Loosenhoorn pushing hard. Madsen and Cronin is around. Can he stay in front of Taj Edwards?
Edwards is coming.
He can. just as McMahon is coming there, by the way. So Madsen then looking good. Let's see what happened here. They were very close. Fight for first place in the Porsche Cup.
As Cronin comes into the corner, and yeah, he just loses it.
So, Tom McMahon then, with just a few corners left to celebrate his race victory here in race 1, with Van Loosenord closing and closing and closing the gap, but not enough in the end. He will have to settle for second place. Very nice race 1, and of course the big reverse of race 2, well, we'll see how big it is, will be even more exciting because of how, you know, tough it is to pass around here. But McMahon, fantastic race and very well deserved race 1 winner.
Absolutely, as Tom McMahon comes across the line to take the win in the first race of the evening here at Oulton Park. Third place is going to go to Lewis Bibby, and yeah, Dressler and Brown are coming up to the line as well. And then yeah, Jack Noller and Jess Bond will come round for P7 and P8, and rounding at the top 10. Yeah, rounding at the top 10 will be Gregory Varanks and Ollie Christian Unenberg in 10th place. So yeah, quite an eventful race, Marco, and yeah.
Oh, Kip Stevens.
Kip Stevens.
Yeah, nicking 11th place out of Ralph Collin and Hans just at the very end of the race. And Galaita, Tilgard and Muse also very close for P18 to 20. And also the Porsche Cup leaders are about to come home. Of course, that battle dampened by the mistake from Brendan Cronin, who now has to look in his mirrors because Taj Edwards has closed the gap. Of course, I can imagine the tires on Madsen's car being a bit cooked after that half spin. So he will have to hold on, but Nick Madsen, with no pressure, enjoying race victory in race 1 here in Oulton Park as he takes the checkered flag.
Yep, as Nick Madsen comes across the line to take the win in the Porsche Cup class in race 1 this evening, and absolutely over the moon with that win. And rounding out the top 10 will be rounding out the top 10 will be Cronin and Edwards.
As we thank Dirk Jansen and Mushi for following us on subscribing to us on Apex Racing TV, as the Porsche podium flies in formation, enjoying their performance. We, in just a second, will be able to go through the final race results for both classes, which should be on your screen right now.
As results are up on your screen, so Tom McMahon takes the win in race 1. Second place is Martin Van Loosenord. Third place is Lewis Bibby. Fourth place is Michael Dresler. Fifth place is Andrew Brown. Ben Gregory finishes in sixth. Seventh place is Jack Noller. Eighth is Jesper Lind. Ninth is Gregory Varanks. And rounding out the top 10 is Ollie Unenberg.
We have Ralph Cullinan in P11. Oh, go ahead.
Oops, sorry, Marco.
no, go ahead.
I was just about to say, 11th place is Ralph Cullinan, I should say. 12th is Pimbu. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. 13th is Robert Lundgren. 14th is John Roberts. 15th is Stuart Musselwhite. 16th is Chris Wood. 17th is Ben Gillette. And 18th is Martin Thielgaard. And Marco, if you want to take us through the Porsche Cup class results.
Yes, Porsche Cup, which will be on your screen in just a second. There we go, your race winner, Nick Madsen, just in front of Brendan Cronin, Taj Edwards, and then Austin Hervayas in 5th place, Ara Stadler, Sam Kumo, Ronald Moons, Thor Berfen for Team Vikings, Steve Clays for Rev Match, and 4 laps down to the race winner in GT3, but still not eligible for the reverse grid. For Eva Vervatic is Anders Christiansen. So, this is the big moment we were waiting for. The reverse grids please, please be gentle with me, because tonight I have to put my terrible math skills into action and do the reverse myself between race 1 and race 2. But first of all, let's see what the wheel says. And it should be on your screen right now. GT3 on the left and Cup on the right. Let's roll it. Okay, it's going to be two big ones, a full for the GT3s and a -1 for the Cup car. So who is going to be on pole position? Well, we can say that sadly for Steve Claes is a terrible force feedback less night is going to be even worse, because he misses out on the pole, being that is the last car eligible for the reverse. -1 means that Thor Berven will start on pole, Moons, Kumo, Stadler, Ervayas will be your top 5 in that class. Whilst for the GT3, a full reverse of all the eligible drivers, which means, as soon as, yeah, here we go, should be Alexander Arnesen starting from pole position, Kip Stevens in second, Matthias Roger Rios, James Legg, and Rob Tyson will be your top 5 in that class, with the cars more than one lap down. Sudlow, Davis, Malcolm missing out on the reverse. So, pretty big reverses and exciting race 2, 40 minutes coming up ahead. So, I think, Ryan, we can go through a commercial break.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, race 2 should be up in yeah, it should be up in a few moments' time soon, or a few minutes' time, I should say. So yeah, me and Mark is going to go for a commercial break, and we will be back with you very soon.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
hello everyone, welcome back to Apex Racing TV here at Oulton Park. You join us for the second race of the evening. My name's Ryan Walker, and alongside me is Marco Babanero on the cameras. And yeah, Marco, I have to say, race one was pretty good to watch, and I think with the reverse grid for race two, I think it could spice it up.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a very competitive race one. Race two, of course, with the reverse, like you said, it's going to be even crazier, hotter track temperature, of course, because we are now in the in a afternoon setting. Track is 40 degrees, 21 degrees the air. Humidity has gone down quite a bit. But yeah, these drivers are in for a very tough race, and of course the quicker drivers will have to start from the back, and I think also they will have to go through the Porsche field a couple of times. So not an easy proposition for these guys, as we have only 20 seconds left in the basically the practice to get everyone into the server, and we should be ready to go soon after that.
Yep, absolutely. Just coming to the end of practice before we head into the second race of the evening. As we currently watch Martin Van Loozenhoort with the Ferrari, and I have to say, Marco Van Loozenhoort, even though he's in the Ferrari for this round as well, he was I think he was in the Audi for Silverstone, and then the McLaren for, I think it was the McLaren for Brands Hartson. Now he's in the Ferrari, and it just seems to be whatever he jumps on, he always seems to be on the pace. But up on the screen right now is the grid for race two. So Alexander Anderson takes pole position. Roger Rios Matias takes second. Third place is James Leggett. Fourth place is Rob Tyson. Fifth place is Jonathan Steggers. Sixth is Benjamin Mears. Seventh place is Martin Thielgaard. Eighth place is Ben Gillette. Ninth place is Chris Wood. 10th place is Stuart Musselwhite. 11th place is John Roberts. 12th place is Robert Lundgren. 13th is Pimbu. 14th is Ralph Cullinan. 15th is Ollie Unenberg. 16th Gregory Varanks. 17th Jesper Lund. 18th is Jack Roller. 19th is Ben Gregory. 20th is Andrew Brown. 21st is Michael Dressler. 22nd is Blues Bibby. 23rd is Martin Van Loozenhoort. 24th is Tom McMahon. And rounding out the grid is Scott Balcom in 26.
For the Porsche Cup class, Thor Beveren in pole, Ronald Moons and Sam Kumo, Ara Stalder, Austin Nervaya, Stajio Edwards, Brandon Cronin, race 1 winner Nick Madsen, the two guys not eligible, Steve Clays and Anders Christensen. So I hope that Sam will be very proud of me, because I managed to not screw up the reverse grid. I'm very happy about that. No, let's hope for an even better race too. And let's go racing then. 40 minutes as you can see on the clock. I think we are ready to go. Once again, the beautiful Mustang pace car is bringing us towards the start-finish line, and I think we can go.
Just waiting for the cars to come round, and we should be on the way with this second race of the evening. And the safety car pulls off, and we're
oh dear, everyone is going wide. Careful when rejoining. Oh, massive hit there for one of the rev match cars as they are trying to make their way. That was Steggers, I think. And now he's going to get back onto the track in front of the Porsche field. Certainly not what we were hoping for. A big crash there as the Porsches make their way through the first few corners, as well as we have a little bit of a coming together here at the hairpin. Seems the drivers were able to solve that without any unnecessary drama. Back at the front is Matthias Roger Rios in front of Ben Galite. Look at the queue of cars behind the second place Mercedes.
Yep, absolutely. Just look at Bowes Delight is up into second place. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls off, and we're ready to go. And the safety car pulls o and currently leading at the moment at TSC, and Chris Wood's in third place at the moment, and I have to say it's some issues up at the front, Marco, but it seems to be everyone apart from that, everyone's being sensible at the moment.
Yes, I think I saw Noller maybe having an issue a few seconds ago. Let's see. See the black and orange BMW there when they were... Oh, just as we cut away from the action at the hairpin, I think Noller went for a ride through the daisy. Oh, big hit there by the Audi. And he went for a ride there through the grass. At the front is still the driver from Puerto Rico, Matias Roger Rios. He was at the front for quite a bit of the Silverstone round in race 2, if you remember. Then he had a nightmare of a secondary part of that race with a couple of spins and losing several positions. He has pace. I think he has a lot of pace in him. It needs to be a little bit more consistent. As in the Porsches, it's Thor Perver from Team Vikings in front of Taj Edwards, Ronald Moons, Nick Madsen. Sam Kumo is in the top 5. As Martin Stegers has taken his pit stop for his fast repair and is out way back. Oh, Scott Malcolm is having some issues. Try to find where he is. He has disappeared sadly, and also another car with issues. Martin Tilgard going wide and dropping down 12th place, maybe even lower than that, as his teammate Unneberg is also going through, and he does.
Yep, absolutely. As we look back up at the front, it looks like Robert Lundgren is under Robert Lundgren is under attack from Benjamin Mias. For in this battle for fourth place, and as Robert goes defensive before turn 1, and it looks like judging by the way Benjamin's driving at the moment, it looks like he's not in an attacking mood. But as I say that, he tries to take he shows his car, shows his car up the inside, and looking back for the field, it looks like I can't remember who I'm looking at now. My live time is played up, but the field in general, it looks like plenty of battles going on through the field.
Let's move back to the front because Bengalite and Chris Wood have closed back very quickly, I might add, after a poor lap. 34.3 for Roger Rios Matias, as he is now facing the prospect of having to battle with his two rivals there. Chris Wood, the quicker of this trio, in this past lap, as Stuart Musselwhite is cutting the chicane. Oh, and sadly clipping the boosted car of James Leggett, who has to lose quite a few positions. Not the best of rejoins there, even though it's very tough to get back on the track. As look at Chris Wood trying to find a space past the PSR driver, not being able to do so. And look at the amount of dirt being kicked up by the cars. Taj Edwards is in the lead. Thor Berben lost the lead, now lost second place to Madsen.
Yeah, so I was about to say, Mark, was free field. There was upsets everywhere. Everyone, him in the second. But it doesn't seem to be as chaotic in this Porsche Cup class, and the Porsche Cup class is more settled than the GT3 class.
Absolutely, as I think, I think now, after his bad lap earlier, Rios has been able to once again get on the right path, and is pulling away once again from Glite and Wood. Let's see some of the quicker drivers from race 1. Tom McMahon, you see him here. He's sitting in P7 behind Ralph Cullinan in his very recognizable livery. A little bit different, updated from the days of BSR Sundays, but still a very recognizable one. Lewis Bibby and Andrew Brown are 13th and 14th, just behind Jasper Lind. Martin van Loosenaert with his Ferrari is in P16 and trying to go past Martin Tilgord for Team Vikings in his Audi.
Got wide.
Very, very close indeed. Good run from Van Loosenord. Will he make the move on the inside, the penultimate corner? I think he will, yes. Nice move. Oh, there's mess in front of them with Gregory and Musselwhite.
Yeah, it was Musselwhite and it was a Fitzstyle Motorsport car. I believe that was Ben Gregory. As Gregory tried to be, well, it was one of the other Fitzstyle Motorsport cars made a move up the inside, and it looks like Gregory just had nowhere to go.
At the front, Bengelite has jumped Rios for first place. A mistake, I would imagine, from the race leader. I dare to go to a replay and see what happened here. Well, they once again closed into the back of the leader very, very quickly. And judging... Oh, yeah, mistake. You see, Rios almost losing the car, almost collecting the light. So now we have a new leader. Chris Wood trying to join, Gelite in this runaway train for the lead.
Absolutely, Chris Wood we recognise from various leagues. Chris Wood is I recognise him from racing in the BSR the BSR Kia series. It takes place on a Thursday, and he's not the quickest of drivers, but he's always been there and thereabouts. And at the moment he's having a good race in the P3 at the moment, and just behind Matthias, trying to put a challenge in for second.
Fastest lap of the race by Tom McMahon, 32.4. You see purple in 6th place. Another time we go to this hairpin that really is not certainly Matthias's favorite corner in this Oulton Park track. He takes a much more conservative line this time around and is able to stay there, without crashing, which is good for him because still owner of a very, very valuable second place. As we have an issue here for Brown, almost losing the car just as Martin van Loosener was trying to make a move for position. He had to lift and lose the opportunity. Good save from Brown there. Also Robert Landgren and Ben Mews are nose to tail. No, I apologize, it's McMahon. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was about to see it. Benjamin Mears, they managed to get round Robert Lundgren, and Lundgren's under attack from the Tom McMahon now. So Lundgren slowly falling through the field, but he's not letting Tom by that easy. As Tom tries to make a move, and Lundgren goes, and Tom manages to gain another P5.
Great move from McMahon. And he's up into the top 5 already, as once again Rios put under massive pressure by Wood, who really wants to jump him and try to catch back Bengalite, because Wood knows that this is a great chance at a race victory.
I have to say Matthias is still having a good race, so he's still in second place. He is. He's managing to keep Chris Wood at bay for the moment.
In the Porsches, Taj Edwards still in the lead with a decent gap over Brendan Cronin. Berven, after losing the lead, is down to 3rd. Madsen in 4th. 5th place for Ronald Moons and Kubo in 6th. And there are a couple of stranded GT3s also there in the middle of the Porsche field. Let's see a track map for a second, and let's see the positioning of the cars. And yes, the leaders are GT3 leaders are still a bit away, but not that far away from the... Of course, lapping will occur a bit later in this race because of the way that it's a bit of a slower race at the start as McMahon jumps the orange Ferrari of Ben Mews. So, it's a little bit longer, the time between the start of the race and when the GT3 leaders catch up the back end of the Porsche field. But still, it's getting there. Let's leave the track map on for a bit so we can have an idea of when that happens. As, once again, this movie, we saw it many times in this second race, in these first 11 minutes so far. In this first part of the racetrack, Ryan Wood really has the pace advantage over Rios, but is not able to make the pass.
Yeah, it just seems to be in this section of the track that Chris Wood just seems to be. He seems to have that little bit more. He seems to have that little bit more confidence. Matthias just looks like. Matthias just looks like he's a bit. He looks. Some parts of the track. I don't.
Oh, issues.
Is it Matthias?
No, bad news is parked in a very dangerous. Oh, did he hit the tire bundle? Oh dear. But we have to go live because Rios is going wide and losing the position also to McMahon. Okay, big deep breath, let's see what happened.
Yeah, just look at the replay to see what happened to Matthias, and it looks like he went defensive trying to hold off Chris Wood, and it looks like he might have just bit of contact between the two, and Matthias just ran wide onto the grass, and he was lucky to come back on the grass and not he was lucky to come back on track, I should say, and not collect one of the Evo SR cars as we look at a replay of Benz and Mias to see what happened, and I think he just collected the tyre. Oof, that was a hard hit.
Oh dear. Massive deceleration there, and that is a trip to pit road with the tow truck. There is no way you can avoid that.
As looking at Martin van Loozenhoord, he's up into P10 at the moment, and next car in front of van Loozenhoord is Jess Bond. Martin's not getting through the field he's not getting through the field as quickly as I thought. Yeah, it's still early days. There's plenty of time for Martin to pick up more positions.
There is, absolutely, but you are absolutely right. And this shows how tough it is to pass in this track. And the same was for Branzach, of course. Certainly a tough track to make overtakes in. So let's see, he still has a long way to go, of course, in the race. We are almost 14 minutes into this one, 40 minutes the scheduled distance. So let's see what happens next as we keep looking at Van Loozenhoord trying to make the move on the Fitztai driver, Lind. You know, Van Loozenhoord not afraid to send the car. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Absolutely. Van Loozenhoord's not close enough to Lund, but can he try and get a great run in the exit of the final corner? He might have a good run on Lund, but I have to say, it looks like Jess Bond got the better run in the exit of the final corner than Van Loozenhoord, and he's managed to stay in front of him for at least a few corners anyway. But I think it's only going to be a matter of time before Martin gets by Jesper.
At the same time, McMahon jumps Wood and is making certainly good work of all of his rivals. Next up will be Gleit. McMahon showing some very nice pace. Let's see also Van Loozenhoord now side by side with Lind. He will have to make the pass before the chicane, and so he does, up to P9.
Yep, that was a good move by Martin, and I don't think Jesper was putting up much of a fight. I think he just decided that it's not worth fighting Martin, who's clearly quicker than Jesper. And Martin's up into P9 as we're on board with Andrew Brown at the moment, and just in front of him is Ralph Cullinan, and battling for P11 at the moment, and it seems to be. Andrew's not getting through the field quite quick as I expected, but I guess Andrew just wants to kind of just play it safe and just pick up any points he can get as contact.
Yeah, Luis Bibi, Uneberg, Ranks and Landgren in reverse order from 4th to 5th in this group of 4 cars fighting for 5th place. Of course, Ranks and oh, that is Ranks going wide. Oh dear! Good save.
Oh, that was a bit.
But now here comes Van Loozenhoord. course, there at the front. Race leader making a bit of a mistake, and now they have to go through the Porsche field. And you can see in front of them is Steve Claes, last of the running Porsches. That's again not a position we are used to see him, but dealing with the force feedback failure just before the start of this event. Now Bengalite will have to contend with McMahon, and together they will have to contend with the lap traffic. This is going to be very, very interesting. Let's see how they deal with it, because sometimes in this kind of racing, Ryan, it's not just how fast you are, but also how good you are at dealing with traffic.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's all about it's not always about being quick, Marco. It's all about being smart through the traffic and trying to use the traffic to your advantage. And I think it's
Oh, here we go! What a send from McMahon! Oh, and Louis Bibby! Where is Louis Bibby? I saw him drop, and he's in the pits. What happened to Louis Bibby? One of the favorites.
yeah, looks like he tries to make a move. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the trees blocked us, so let's get a better replay. There was a collision with... oh dear, was that Ben Mills, I think?
No, it's Robert Lundgren, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad luck. One of the boosted cars.
Yeah, it looks like Lundgren. I think it was just a contact between him and Lundgren, and unfortunately Lundgren. Lundgren was just an innocent bystander in that incident, and just when he got spun round, he just speared into the side of Lewis Bibby, and just nothing he could do.
That would have been huge with a lot of cars following them. Absolutely bad luck for Louis Bibby, one of the protagonists of the championship, and certainly not the way he wanted to end his race. This promotes a lot of drivers up. I think Martin van Loozen was one of those drivers who just narrowly avoided getting involved into that mess.
Yep, absolutely. Martin van Loozen ordered up into P6, and at the moment Tom McMahon or McMahon, sorry, I keep getting that wrong. Tom's still leader at the moment, and managing to build up a bit of a gap to Ben Jalai behind.
Look at this train of cars here, fighting for 6th place and backwards. Sam Kumo for ERT, then Arash Stadler, Austin Hervayas, and then 2 GT3s who will be fighting for position, if I am not mistaken, with these guys. Thomas Sudlow and Jonathan Martin Steggers. Yes, these are all 4 positions, so they won't get the blue flag, the Porsche Cup cars, and sometimes it's a bit difficult to deal with it because you are already focused on the fight in your class.
Absolutely, in this train of cars at the moment with the Porsche Cup class cars it's Samuel Kumo, Haro Stadler, and just behind him I think is Austin Hervier. So they've got a 3-car battle for position in the Porsche Cup class at the moment, and as much as I like the GT3 cars, Marco, I have to say the Porsche Cup cars always seem to provide the closest racing, just because of they don't rely on anything like traction control or ABS. It's all down to the driver.
Yeah, and I don't think there is a single Porsche Cup car without a little bit of damage. I mean, you can say the same for the GT3s, of course, but that's very, very close fight that these drivers are having. And look at some of those GT3s that trying to come through, and it's not very easy to do so.
The GT3 cars are starting to come through. Oh yeah, let's say a couple of GT3 cars. That's for, as I think you said, Marcus, for position, and these cars don't have to move out the way. It's for position, but yeah, of course, the GT3 cars will get by them eventually because they're the quicker cars and they've got, yeah. Trying to think, trying to see who that was. I think that was Austin Hervius.
Yeah, I think it was one of the geodesic cars. I think it was him cutting the chicane with a good. At least he was able to get onto the track without dramas. So here we go. Sadlow makes its way through Stadler. Martin Stegers will try to do the same. The leader of your Porsche class is, of course, the Gold Racing Team number 88 of Taj Edwards. And he's leading Brandon Cronin. Two very similar liveries, at least colors-wise, but different teams. Then Nick Madsen is in third. Bit of a gap between himself and Thor Berven, and then Ronald Moons is sitting in 5th place for Race Masters. He's also a bit lonely there as Sadlow now goes past Kumo. I think there's a bit of contact. Sadlow goes wide and loses positions to Muse and Stegers. Okay, so everything is happening here. This is certainly the worst case scenario for all parties involved, Ryan, because Porsche guys want to race with the Porsche guys, the GT3 guys want to get past them as quickly as possible, and this is not going to be the case as they keep battling with each other. Now more GT3s are joining the party, of course, because this fighting is certainly, you know... Oh, and this is also the race lead coming through. Apologies, so Wood, Gelite as well.
Yeah, that's the thing with these the GT3, the Porsche Cup. They don't have to move offline. They're entitled to stick to yeah, it's a response cars to get by as safely as possible, and yeah, I think it's kind of around this track. It's a bit difficult, but it's kind of it's a bit difficult for the GT3 cars, but it's just the nature of Oulton Park. There's nothing you can do.
We are halfway home, even a bit more than that, because 24 minutes will be on the clock in a matter of seconds. Jasper Lint is fighting with Rios, who is holding on in 6th place despite a couple of mistakes. Andrew Brown for Grip TV is also in this mix, and Lind certainly feels like he's quicker than Rios, but you know, you have to work for your move onto the racetrack, and so far Matthias making a good defense of his 6th position. Pengelite is trying to get past Chris Wood. And also they are running into the lap traffic of the GT3s and the Cup cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say though, I'm quite impressed by Chris Wood. He's having a good race so far, up in 2nd place, and managing to hold his own against the likes of the quicker guys. And yeah, just behind Chris at the moment is Bengalite, and not far behind them as well is Martin Van Loozenhoort, who's making his way through the Porsche Cup car traffic. And yeah, I think if Martin catches up to these guys up at the front just before the end of the race, I think we could be in for an exciting finish.
Oh, absolutely, and look at that. I think thanks to the lap traffic, we could have a move, if I can find it. Austin Evias, Stadler, and fighting it out whilst the GT3 traffic comes through. Lot of chaos here, and maybe, just maybe, they won't have to deal with it again for the rest of this race, but certain... Oh, there we go! Crash, ooh. Big hit, big hit. That was a number 96, I think, Jasper Lint, and he was sitting in the top 10 of his class, and now sporting some fairly big damage. He elects to continue. just in front of his teammate Ben Gregory. And let's see what happened there to Jasper Lind.
Yeah, it was good. A bit of contact between him. So I think it was.
Rios, I think it was Rios. Oh, and then for good measure, another hit there. Grip TV car goes wide, and that was all caused by a little bit of a traffic jam, of course, between everyone involved. I think the Rios was not expecting that Porsche Cup car to slow down that much. Of course, it can be very tough to judge your braking distances in this case, and that is exactly what happened. A bit of contact, and Lind paid the biggest price. Van Loosenhoorn, that's a lapped car.
I have to say, Marco, Van Loosenhoorn is absolutely he's catching the top three cars in front of him pretty quickly, and I think don't rule out Martin Van Loosenhoorn of winning this race. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, yes, his lap times may not be spectacular because of the traffic, but he's still lapping quicker than everyone else, apart from the leader. Has a mistake here from Glite.
It's nothing that Martin can do though. He's got a car in front of him and Porsche Cup car traffic in front of him. So yeah, there's nothing that he can do. And
Behind
what
him
this
is
has now
Hummelberg.
back up to him as well. So yeah, it's all kicking off in the closing stages of this race, and yeah, we could. I'm not sure if Ehrenberg can keep up with Martin Van Loosenhoorn, but yeah, it's good to see Ehrenberg having a good race. So race one was a bit, it was a bit kind of, it didn't go the way he wanted it to. It didn't go the way he wanted it to go.
Back at the front of the Porsche field, as Edwards and Cronin not that far away from each other, around a couple of seconds, which is, you know, could change quite a bit thanks to the traffic. So we have to keep an eye on that. Martin Tilgard also fighting with Jack Noller, the black and orange BMW. For V-Racer, they almost make contact. Also Van Loosenhoorn now is really on the back of Ben Glite, fighting for the podium in the GT3 class. Bit off to find a space, but if there's a driver that can find a way through, it is Martin Van Loosenhoorn, Sim Racers World Champion, both overall and in the gold class. Another mistake from Glite in the same corner as the previous lap. He immediately switches to the inside to defend, but Van Loosenhoorn does a fantastic run. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Here comes Hummelberg. Big hit.
Oh.
And the Team Vikings driver is around.
Yeah, yeah, that was unfortunate for Ehrenberg. I was just about to say he was having a good race as well, but it looks like I've just jinxed it as we look back at the replay, and it looks like Ehrenberg tries to get by Galite, sorry, and yeah, I'm not sure what Galite was doing. He just
I think he lost the car on the grass, I think, there. I mean, we've seen that a couple of times today. It's unfortunate, but it's a byproduct, you know. Let's say that I include myself and yourself, all of us, sometimes get too used to the tarmac runoff areas that sometimes you don't think about, you know. You go a bit off the racing surface and you say, okay, let's floor it, no biggie. But then there are some old school tracks like this where instead of tarmac you have the grass and you have no grip. We've seen more than a few crashes today like this. Car loses the grip thanks to the grass on the outside of the racing surface, and sadly spins and spears back into another car in the traffic. So bad luck for all involved once again. Van Loosenhoorn is the happier of the bunch and is up into third place, as Taj Edwards needs to look in his mirror because Cronin is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Cronin's been closing up. I think it looks like Cronin will be all over the back of Edwards in front of him, and yeah, I have to say it's been a good drive by Edwards at the moment. He's just been, but I think he's going to have a fight in his hands for in race two as it.
You know, Cronin was having the same race in race one. I mean, a race of catching up. When he finally caught up to the race leader, that case was Nick Madsen. He then made a mistake in the final lap and almost lost second place. Let's see if things go differently in race 2 for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll have to say it's been a pretty good race. Second race, Marco, and but there's been fantastic racing throughout the field in both classes.
Absolutely, and now we see some lap traffic, some lapping traffic. Apologies. Is that the race leader? Yes, he is.
Yep, it is indeed the race leader, Tom McMahon. Sorry, yeah, coming through the field and just lapping these Porsche Cup cars, and yeah, tries to get by as quickly as possible, and up there the side, yeah, manages to get by.
So we certainly will have a fight on our hands for the race victory in the Porsche Cup class. What I love about this championship is that it's short and sweet. Next week, round 4, we will go to Snetterton, the 300 layout, which is not my favorite, but I think it's best suited for this big field and type of racing. Very, very un-British track in the sense that yes, there's a lot of grass, but it's very flat, and I think that very wide backstretch will provide for some fantastic, slipstreaming and overtaking action.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I also believe, Marco, next weekend it's over in Germany. It is the Sim Racing Expo at the Nürburgring.
Yes, and that's why we have one drop week. So if you want to go to the Sim Racing Expo, you can go there, and as there's a car there in the grass, so you can go there and you will drop the round. But I hope that if you are not there, you will decide to race with us in this fantastic championship, because after that only 2 rounds, the international one in Spa, and of course then the season finale in Donington Park. Edwards, Cronin and Madsen then top 3 in Porsche, and I will very quickly cut away from the Porsche battle for the lead, because Marten van Loosenhoorn wants to make another move using a little bit of the grass to try and pass Chris Wood, ready to switch to the Porsche battle if things get feisty there. Well, they are.
Yep, absolutely. Goes like Cronin around outside into turn 1. Fantastic move.
That was a fantastic pass on the outside by Brendan Cronin. He makes the move, he takes the lead with just a bit more than 5 minutes left. It was a very good run for Taj Edwards, but for the time being he will have to settle for P2. He needs to keep up the pressure and the pace, because Nick Madsen is coming, and he will be a tough customer. At the same time, Van Loosenhoorn just went past Chris Wood. Let's get a replay of that.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, I think Chris Wood just ran wide on the exit of turn 1, and it gave yeah, man, Van Loosenhoorn didn't hesitate in making a move, and he threw it up the inside and up into second place. And yeah, I don't think we'll have it. Yeah, I don't think there's any way that he'll catch Tom up at the front, because yeah, Tom's just up at the front all on his own, and just in a race of his own.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless there's a mistake from the race leader, he will bring home the victory. Tom McMahon, Marten van Loosenhoorn will have to be happy with second. And we have some very close quarter battling here between Gregory Tilgard, Rios and Lind. Oh, Matthias goes around all cars. I was about to say that are pretty much, pretty heavily wounded. And Rios now
Hold it, Mattia.
will save.
Yeah, I
Save.
thought he was going to spin it. He managed to hold it, but it seems to be the same case as usual for Matthias. Just like it was, I think it was Silverstone, Marco, where Matthias was having a good race in race two, and he then unfortunately just halfway through just went down.
Yeah, he spun in the first corner, throwing away the lead, even though Van Loosenhoord clearly was quicker. But it's one thing to get overtaken, and maybe second place one thing, but losing the lead while spinning means that you have to make a big comeback, and there is no pit strategy that can save you in this series. You have to fight on the track for the positions, and that he started making mistake after mistake. Today, I want to say more of the same, sadly, for Rios, because he made too many contacts, let's say, with other drivers, and those add up in the end. Thyssen and Tilgard, rev match versus Vikings. As McMahon, fastest lap of the race, 32.3. Just a few laps left, Ryan, and he will be able to celebrate. And what a nice evening of racing this has been for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a good evening for Tommy. Done well in race one. Doing well again in race two, and just I think winning race two will be a perfect way to round out the evening. And I don't think race two is basically just as soon as he got up to the front, he was able to pull away and build up a gap, and just managing to control the pace as we look back through the field and see some of the GT3 cars coming through to lap the Porsche Cup class cars, and who is that coming? Is that Martin Van
Martin
Loosenhoord?
Van Loosenhoord, yes, sitting in second place.
As manages to it looks like he'll manage to get by Edwards, and manages to get by him, but behind Edwards is Nick Madsen.
Exactly, that's why I was focusing on this fight, because I think that Madsen can have a really good chance at the at second place as the final lap starts for the race leader right now. White flag for Tom McMahon there in the lead of the race, but let's see who gets second in the Porsche. Here we go, Madsen. Big dive on the inside.
Can he pull it off? Yeah, he gets a great run in the exit of the final corner, and he gets a great run up into second place as we head into the final lap.
I have to say, beautiful race in the Porsches. Maybe not the drama that we have had in Silverstone, but still, these drivers put on a really, really big show. By the way, here's Chris Wood, defending from no one in particular. This is a much closer fight. Gelight ranks fighting for fourth place and backwards as the final lap is, like I said, underway. Well, almost done, to be honest with you. Just a few corners left for Tom McMahon. Hopefully you guys at home enjoyed this fantastic round. And like I said, next week's Netterton 300, a different track, a bit wider, especially in that backstretch, like I said, that will provide for some more passing opportunities. I honestly cannot wait for Spa, because Spa is my favorite track in Europe. But Tom McMahon, what can we say about him? Race 1 winner. We got a full reverse in GT3, still manages to come up and win the race. Fantastic stuff.
Yep, absolutely. As he comes across the line to take the win in the second race of the evening, and well deserved victory for Tom after coming through the pack in the reverse grid. And as what's in the Porsche Cup class as well, it looks like Brendan Cronin is going to come around the final corner to take the win in the Porsche by him to take the win, and just waiting for Nick Madsen to come through to finish the second, and Taz Edwards to run great racing in that class, and waiting for the rest of the cars to come across the line, and we'll take you through the results in a few seconds' time.
Yes, final few positions being sorted, of course. Points will be up shortly after, but I mean, fantastic stuff by all the drivers involved, as we have last few finishers. Leggett, Pimbo for rev match. Bit of damage on that car. And I think he's the last driver we are waiting for in GT3s, but there's a lot of Porsches still running around. Sam Kumo finishes in 4th, I think is the best result of the season. Christiansen comes home, and Herbias as well. As the session is officially over, I think we have some nice donuts by our Porsche winner, and also by Nick Madsen. So I'll tell you what, let's go with a slow motion and enjoy. And whilst Brendan Cronin has some fun, we can go through the race results for the GT3 class, Ryan.
Yep, absolutely. As just waiting for the results to come up on your screen. What right now? What's they're up? So Tom McMahon takes the win in race 2. Martin Van Lozenrod finishes in 2nd. Chris Wood rounds out the top 3 in 3rd. Ben Gillette finishes in 4th. Gregory Varanks finishes in 5th. Ollie Ehrenberg finishes in 6th. 7th place is Andrew Brown. Robert Longren finishes in 8th. Jack Noller finishes in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is Ben Gregory. Rob Tyson finishes in 11th. 12th is Martin Thielgaard. 13th is Jesper Lind. 14th is Roger Rios Matias. 15th is James Leggett. 16th is Pimbu. 17th is Benjamin Mears. 18th is Stuart Musselwhite. 19th is John Roberts. 20th is Jason Steggers. 21st, is Rolf Cullinan. 22nd is Alexander Anderson. 23rd is Thomas Sudlow. 24th is Lewis Bibby. 25th is Michael Jesler. 26th is Scott Malcolm. Scott Malcolm retired from the race. And I think that's results for GT3, Marco.
Yes, and in the Porsche Cup class then, we have Brendan Cronin doing one better from race 1, winning race 2. Nick Madsen finishes in 2nd with a last few minutes overtake over Taj Edwards. Sam Kumo in 4th place, good bounce back race for him. Then Thor Anders Berven in 5th place. Arash Stadler and Ronald Moons very close to each other in 6th and 7th, and a photo finish basically between Christiansen and Herbias. One lap down, Steve Claes. So as per usual, the Porsche Cup car drivers, Ryan, are very consistent. We rarely see retirements in this class, and in this race too, it has been more of the same. So nice work by everyone. And now we wait for your interviews, as we already have a long list of drivers, but I think Ryan, waiting with you is the two-time race winner for tonight in GT3 class, Tom McMahon.
Yep. So Tom McMahon joins us in the booth, and Tom, I have to say that was a great evening for you in both races. Talk about how was it from your perspective?
Oh, delighted with it. I didn't think I would sort of win both, let alone one of them. Looking back on it, the only annoying thing was getting off track in the first race, because that cost me 3 points. But no, it was the best feature race reverse grid that I've done. Like, I got the best start that I've ever got. I was a little bit more aggressive because I knew I had a little bit of pace. And then when I kind of got through, I think to about 8th or 7th, and I kind of realised then that I was the first car in the train. When it all kind of sort of settled out a bit, and then it was just a case of pick the guys off ahead as quickly as I could, and then stretch the legs and brought it home. So
yeah, good stuff. yeah, I mean, what was it? What was the plan in race two? Was it kind of just try and go for it and try and gain as many positions as possible, or did you use the courses approach? What was the plan?
Be a little bit more aggressive than I usually am. The first two, because this is my first iRacing league, the first two I've been kind of caught out a bit by not being not forceful, but just being a bit more sort of go for it. And I knew that I was surprised by the pace that I had in race one, so I knew that I could use that. And it all just started from turn one because you're all trying to pick your own line, and it just kind of opened up. And then I got ahead of Lewis Bibby, my teammate, and I knew that okay, well I'm ahead of him, so that's good. And then so first lap was awesome. Like I think I made up a lot of places, and that kind of set me off.
Good stuff. Yeah, just before we let you go, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to? Any sponsors or family or friends or anything like that? Or anyone from the team?
Just the Evo SR guys again. Lewis. Good for him to get a podium. Shame that he fell out. And then just all the guys in that community. So, but no one else. Thank you, and you guys obviously. But that goes without saying.
Thanks very much. And yeah, just before we let you go, I have to apologise if I butchered your name up in the broadcast a few times, Tom. I'm not very good at pronouncing names.
When he
but,
listens the way I pronounce it, because I say the American way because of wrestling, McMahon, I think he's going to be very angry with me. So
No, you could say that or Tom, whatever's easiest, guys. I don't mind at all.
Thanks for joining us, Tom. And will you be racing next week? I think is it Snetterton?
Absolutely, yeah, I'll be there.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining us, Tom, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Snetterton.
Absolutely, cheers, guys.
As just looking at the other people in the booth. I think we'll hand it over to you, Marco. Who do you fancy taking?
let's have a chat with the new Ferrari driver, Martin van Loosenhoorn. Hello, Martin.
Hello, everyone.
So, well, so are you trying to drive a car in each of the 6 rounds, or is it just you being a little bit undecided about which car to drive then in SRW starting on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's basically has to do with picking a car for your SRW season. So yeah, I was trying some cars, and this is where I stick with. So yeah, it's definitely not the fastest car, but I'm just trying to make it fast and trying to get everything out of that setup and myself. So yeah.
2 second places, so not too bad. The second race, I was expecting me and Ryan that maybe you could have made your way quicker to the field. Did you have some kind of issues in the beginning of the second race? Because it's easy to lose what happens in the mess that is the start of the second race. Did you have some issues, or did you take it easy, passing car after car?
No, I definitely had some issues. I could follow Bibby and the race winner, Tom, through the traffic, but then I got turned around by someone who was braking 100 meters too late. So I had to start all over again from the back, and I was 6 seconds behind the last guy. So I had to fight my way back through the field. So yeah, I definitely had some issues.
So what's on your plate for tomorrow, for next week? Snetterton or the Sim Racing Expo?
Sim Racing Expo. I'll be there on Saturday with a few other teammates and guys I know. And Sunday I'll be back home again. So that's going to be Snetterton, I think.
Well, in this case, no question about next race, but just if you have some shoutouts to do, this is your time.
Yeah, I would like to shout out to Ultimate Gaming Experience UGX. A shout out to RB Skillworks and Uitert. And of course, you guys for covering this series and all the other series.
Well, I know it's only media day, but apparently we'll catch each other on Wednesday on the Racing Esports
one
Network.
more shout out.
Yeah.
to the guys of the academy who finished really good. So they're they're getting stronger every week, and I think that's yeah, you can see that. So shout out to them as well. They did a great job.
Awesome. So we will catch you on the iRacing Esports Network on Wednesday then.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Catch you there then. Congratulations,
See
Martin
you
van
Wednesday.
Hoozenorde. 2 podiums and catch you Wednesday.
Hey, see ya. Bye bye.
And now, Ryan, one more interview, and I think you have with you a double podium finisher in the Porsche, second in race 1, winner of race 2. Should have Brandon Cronin with you.
Yeah, so yeah, Brendan Cronin with me in the booth, and yeah, Brendan, I have to say that was a good evening for you in the Porsche Cup class, and yeah, taking a win in race 2 to round out the evening. How do you feel it went for you?
Yeah, thank you. I think it went pretty well. I actually bought the track like 20 minutes before practice started, so I have zero experience here. I've never even like actually seen the track before, but it's very similar to VIR that I just did the SEO GT finale at weeks ago. So it oddly, I don't know, I just settled right into the track and really comfortable with it. I like the tight little technical sort of tracks. So yeah, last round didn't go very well, to be honest. So this round, I really wanted to do better, though, despite the lack of practice. Um, So yeah, Nick put up a great fight. I messed up qualifying, so I had another probably 3 or 4 tenths in queue, and then I just gotten off track on my last lap. So unfortunately, I couldn't get by Nick in the first round, even though I think I had a little bit more pace. And then um, he got 0 incidents. I was just looking. He got 0 incidents in the first race, so he actually gets a bonus point. And then I did a last to first sort of thing this race, and he got 18 incidents, and I got 6. So I guess he loses 3 points. So even though we both had the same finishes, I guess I somehow pulled ahead with 2 more points for the championship. So couldn't be more happy, really.
Good stuff. Yeah, it looks like this season so far in the Porsches, it seems to be really close between the. Excuse me. It seems to be really close between you and Nick, and also I can't remember who else. I can't remember his name, but Edwards, I think it is. So yeah, it looks like it's close between you guys at the front.
Yeah, it's so close. It's ridiculous. I mean, for instance, like our fastest lap times in the second race were 1,000th apart. So between Nick and I, so yeah, it's dead on. I think the challenge here is that like you could be quicker, but then you can't really buy them. So it's not necessarily about pace as much as it's about survival. I spun in the first race and I was still able to hold P2, but Nick had a little worse incident it seemed, and that cost him a lot of time and that made him, um, just he probably lost the track position of defending the lead against me. Who knows how it would have gone? But yep, just try to keep the car clean. Had a terrible start and fell further back, trying to avoid crashes and stuff. So, but whatever, we made it through.
Good stuff. Yeah, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to? Any team sponsors or friends or family or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. Thanks to everyone on the team and sponsors, Alpine Stars, GoPro, Turn Racing, and yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting it, and obviously to the organizers, everyone involved with making the series happen. A lot of fun, good time. So looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. And also, before we let you go, are you planning to race at Snetterton next week?
Yeah, I'll be there. Another track that I have like zero experience at. But then the next 2 rounds, I've raced there before, so gonna be interesting to see if I'm on the pace there. Hopefully, but yeah, I'll be racing.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Brendan, and yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you on track next Sunday.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
And yeah, that was Brendan Cronin joining us in the booth, and yeah, I have to say, Marco, that was a pretty exciting evening of racing at yeah, the Oulton Park. And what how did you think it? How did you think it went from your perspective?
It was great. I think the drivers themselves were a bit concerned, like myself, during the week about the track and big grid and multi-class. But it worked out brilliantly. Of course, a couple of crashes here and there, that is almost unavoidable. But all things considered, it was a very very good show of driving skills, excitement, especially in that second race. Cannot wait for next week. And also, of course, week 12 is coming in iRacing, starting from Tuesday. So this means that basically most of the series we cover are due to have their final round of the season these coming days. We start tomorrow with the MX5 Monday Cup that will be at 7:15 GMT, and then on Tuesday 10:45 GMT in the morning the IMSA official strength of field race for the Oceanic region. Later in the day at 6:18 GMT going to have the final race of the VRS GT Sprints official series, and then on the Racing Esports Network 7:15 GMT final race of the summer season of the BSR MX5 Pro series. On Wednesday, finally, we have Sim Racers World. They are back with Media Day on the Racing Esports Network, 7 GMT. You don't want to miss that. Thursday, the end of an era, the final BSRTC race of the season, the final race with the Kia, title to give out in that, so certainly it's going to be an emotional night. On Friday, the final race of the official iRacing Le Mans series, that will be at 7 GMT. Saturday we are off after a while, and also it is of course Expo weekend, but we will still be on Sunday at 7:15 GMT more or less for round 4 of this very championship. So a lot to look forward to, and as you have guessed, we'll keep you company both during the Expo, and of course we'll have some races in week 13 as well, so certainly you won't be bored during week 13. At least we hope that you won't be bored. But Ryan, I think time to close out the broadcast then.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, thanks to everyone that's been watching this evening. Yeah, as always, always make sure to follow us on social media. Subscribe to the Apex Racing channel on YouTube. Give Apex Racing TV a follow on Twitter. Give us a follow on Instagram, and also give the Facebook page a like as well. So yeah, thanks to anyone that's been watching, and we will see you next week at Snetterton.